Well,
All right, here we go.
Let's jump right in. You ready?
Yeah, so this is David Durnell. David has, man, how many years have you been in the RV industry, David?
23, actually.
So
I'm getting a little old.
So from a school teacher to RVs.
Yeah, first time I sat here, I think my hair color was pretty sure. It wasn't this kind.
No, that's cool. And we brought in Blake Wright. He's here. This is his first time in a webinar, but not his first time selling RVs. Sold hundreds and hundreds. So
Yeah.
It's what, 2 years you've been?
2 years, yes.
So
I love it.
he's an RV specialist and has learned a lot over the last couple of years. And David, you've been working up in the service department helping figure that out.
Yeah,
So you probably.
Yeah. I've been up there now for almost 2 years exactly.
He's actually one of the owners here. So this is pretty cool. He's going to bring a perspective, a big picture perspective for you guys. And no matter where you need to buy your RV, we want to equip you. And that's what today's all about. So let's get rolling. Talking about hidden fees and what should people expect.
And Ken, real quick, just so people know, we are trying to stay. I don't dislike Blake. We're trying to keep our distance because of the current Corona crisis, whatever you want to call it. And I always tell people that if you're worried about Corona, camping is the best thing. We've been social distancing before social distancing was cool.
That's right.
We've had it built into our lifestyle, to say the least. Now let's jump right into fees, guys. What we want to talk about today is what to look out for when you're buying an RV. And a lot of people say, well, why do you tell us that? Because you're an RV dealer. Real simple. There's going to be, especially this year, 400, maybe 500,000 RVs sold. Normal years between 350 and 400,000. We can't sell that many here. We wish we could. We really do. We wish we could. We can't. We don't have the infrastructure for it. We've been increasing our infrastructure because our sales are getting a lot larger than normal. And a big reason is service. People are really desperately looking for service right now. But what we want to do, since everyone can't buy from us, is we want to teach you what we would do if we were buying an RV, so that you're well prepared to go out in the market. So let's jump in with fees. There's actually a national chain. You guys know who they are. I'm not going to mention their name. They're famous for this now and should be more famous for this, unfortunately. But what they're doing now at the time that you come to close, so when you show up at their dealership, they've got over 100 dealerships nationwide. They like to sponsor NASCAR. So I'm sure you're figuring it out now. I would give you other hints, but I'm just going to stop because then, it'll be too much fun. But one thing they love to do when you sit down to do your closing paperwork is all of a sudden your price jumps anywhere from $1,700 to literally $7,000. Those weren't fees that were expressed to you beforehand. They were never mentioned. They weren't part of your price. They were not part of your deal. But see, they've got anywhere from $1,000 to $5,000 of your money in the deposit, and you have a decision to make. Do I give up $1,000 to not pay $1,700? Do I give up $5,000 to not pay $7,000? And you're talking from travel trailers to motorhomes. And unfortunately, most people pay. And I would tell you that there's a third option. Leave, call your credit card company, say they changed the terms of the deal, and challenge the deposit.
Yeah.
It's important to do it with something that you can challenge. A credit card's a good way to do it, honestly. And we ask people to use credit cards for their deposits. We have some people that write checks, but most do a credit card because it's just safer for you, very honestly. But that's kind of what we're talking about, right? You think you have a price, you think you have it in writing, you think you're good to go, and then you get there and they change things. And the other thing we tell people all the time, if you show up and we ask you for another dime, don't buy it.
And, I tell people that all the time, especially when they're trying to compare us to another dealer. I always go straight for service because nobody beats us in that. And then in fees as well. So nobody beats us in fees. So we have $655 worth. It's a $295 title, at 360 Factory Freight, and this national chain, a lot of people go to them, and I warn them. And they don't believe me in my fees because they dealt with this company. And sometimes I have to tell them kind of the hard way a little bit. They come running back to me because they realize it's $7,000 or more worth of fees. And, and it's crazy stuff.
It is, and it puts people in a bad financial situation as well, you know. So it's just something to be really, really careful about. What I do when I buy something is I ask, what is the out the door price? I just bought my wife a new Chrysler minivan. What is the out the door price? What's the final dollar I'm paying? And I tell them, if you change this price between now and then by trying to add fees, anything else to it, right? Or, oh, I'm sorry, that bumper wasn't included. And it happened to my dad about 30 years ago. He's buying a pickup truck, gets in, there's no bumper. They remove the bumper. And he's like, where's my bumper? They're like, well, that's extra. You took it off. But they literally wanted to send him his bumper back, you know? So long story short, I say to people, I want to know in writing exactly what my price is. And if this price changes, number one, I'm out of the deal. Number two, I'm going to have to go to the BBB or whoever to get my deposit back if you don't hand it to me willingly. You know, that's a very important thing to keep in mind is make them give you in writing what that price is out the door when you show up to pick up your RV. And if it changes, get up and walk.
Yep.
Don't, you know, what we've forgotten in this country is we're in charge. The customer, the buyer, you're in charge. You're the boss. If you don't buy, they go out of business. So if they're doing something dishonest, immoral, unethical, changing the price is unethical, by the way. You vote with your dollars. If you go ahead and stay and do the deal, they're going to keep doing it to other people. You have to vote with your dollars, and you have to just simply walk away. Yeah, what do I do now, right? I need a camper. My kids are excited. My wife's excited. I'm excited. I get it, but don't let them take advantage of you. You know, real quick, Tim, I want to shift gears to something that's happening right now in the RV industry, and it's something we've never seen before. We're seeing record sales, crazy sales, right? The new big thing that dealers are doing is telling you we don't have it in stock. I get you one in 2 weeks. They can't get you one in 2 weeks. Now it's possible if they've got them on order like we do. Okay, it's possible maybe they have one coming off in a week or two and they get it to you. But again, there's so much influx right now in the market, right? There's part shortages, there's worker shortages. Us, for example, we sold out of everything. It was crazy. We sold out of everything. Now, we're in a great position. Let me explain this real quick. Every fall, they want big orders from dealers, okay? We placed our huge order. A lot of dealers did. They weren't sure about everything going on. Long story short, spring comes, they go to place their order, we get coronavirus.
Yep.
Almost all of them canceled their orders, right? We didn't. We took all of our fall orders. We had reordered for spring. We took all those orders. Then we started taking the units that other dealers had built, so we ended up with a ton of inventory. Then, while this was all going on, people are like, you guys are crazy. You're going to go out of business. And, you know, my brother and I do a lot of projections, a lot of studying, and we thought what is happening is exactly what would happen. People are not going to want to get on jets. They're not going to want to stay in hotels, right? They're going to want to keep their families safe when they're vacationing. The safest vacation we have in the United States, period, I don't care, argue it with me, please, is camping.
Yeah. You
decide who's been in your camper. You decide who cleans your camper. You decide where your camper goes. You have full control of your vacation. No one affects it but you. So if I let 3 strangers in, shame on me.
Right.
But, you know, if I keep it to my family, I keep control. You know, it's really cool. I have people that camp with us for years that say that I pay at the pump now. We don't go inside. We pack our drinks for the road trip part of it, right? You know, we buy our food beforehand. We clean everything. You know, they've got it figured out, guys. You guys are intelligent people. You're beating this well.
I just had Mr. and Mrs. Burris from Indiana. They purchased a camper from me. Picked up yesterday. Got to sit down and talk to them for a little while. The main reason why they bought this camper is because they do a lot of fly fishing out west. And they go to New Mexico, Utah. They go everywhere. And they were scared to death because of this whole coronavirus and they're elderly. They were scared to death to go to a hotel or a cabin, which they usually go to.
That term. Elderly.
No offense. But they were scared to death that they couldn't do something that they love to do. Every year, they have this trip's been planned for over a year. And so this really led them to buy a camper again.
Yeah, no, and again, it's so safe. And so back to where we originally headed. Be very careful when you're buying. If the dealer says, I can get it for you really quick, okay? Really ask some information, get the proof. Where I was going was we literally were ordering when everybody else was canceling. So we have tons of stuff coming in. The really cool thing, we just found that we've got probably 30 to 40 wildwoods out here right now. We've got some rockwoods. People can't believe that. And the really cool thing we found out yesterday, we have 40 pumas coming. So we've got, a lot of stuff coming, which is nice. A lot of dealers don't, though. Make sure they prove to you that you can get your unit when they say you can get your unit. That's very important.
A lot of people don't believe me, and you guys have been telling all of us we're getting inventory first, and a lot of people don't believe me on that until they actually see and talk to other dealers like, wow, you are really
rolling in.
Yeah.
There's a lot of times I see a fee pop up that's called PDI. Can you explain what that is? But first, I want to, for all you guys, I want to pop up a poll that says, are you first time purchasing? Will this be your first time purchasing an RV? I just want to get a feel for how many people this will be your first one, or this may be one that you're getting into a new one or something like that. So I'm going to pop that up. All right, go ahead and talk about some of those other types of fees.
What a PDI stands for, a lot of people don't understand that term. It's pre-inspection delivery inspection.
Yeah, pre-delivery inspection.
A lot of dealers charge for that, which is absurd because you're supposed to make sure your camper is working. The dealer is supposed to make sure your camper is clean, everything's working properly. There's no issues before the customer takes it home. You spend a lot of money on this. It's a big purchase. It's crazy that certain dealers charge over $1,000 for it. It's crazy.
Oh, I've even seen on large motorhomes as much as $6,000.
Yes.
Yeah, we've done a pre-delivery inspection here since day one, and the reason it's important is the dealer should be going through your propane system, making sure there's no leaks. They should be going through the water system, making sure there's no leaks. They should be checking all of your electrical outlets, your electric period in the coach. Roof inspection, floor inspection, checking all the appliances, make sure they work. And there's more to it than that, but then as well as cleaning the unit. And we do a PDI pre-delivery inspection on every single unit before we allow it to leave here. For our customer safety, and we don't want you frustrated. We want to make sure that that things are working well. If you see me leaning forward here, guys, I'm just trying to get to peek at some of your questions.
The poll results are in. So 72%, David and Blake this is going to be their first time buying an RV. So
wow,
the other
impressive.
28% have already got one.
It's a great video to really tune in on.
Well, that's perfect for you guys if this is your first time buying. And again, we'd love to have your business, but we can't sell all of them. So please let us help you buy one. That's yes. Very, very important. Yeah, that is awesome.
So really on the fee side, I know like Ohio, for example, has a title and dock fee. Yep. So it's an upfront fee that you guys let them know about, but how much is that typically?
So with us, it's only $295. For a lot of out-of-state customers, Ohio is a forced title state. So we are required to go ahead and do all your title paperwork, get it transferred over into your name, over to your lien holder.
Right.
It's a process, and Ohio just requires it. So that's why when you deal with us, you see that fee.
Yeah. Some questions real quick, if you don't mind, Tim.
Yeah, let's jump in there.
Donna says we're going to be doing this again. Yeah, we'll be doing it again. But
we'll have a replay that will be coming out in about 2 hours after this is over. You'll get an email with a link. So you can just skip to a certain part if you want to listen to the part on financing or service contracts, whatever.
Exactly.
So,
hey, Carol, hello. I have to wave to you. Sounds like Carol bought a trailer from me years ago. So thank you very, very, very much. Carol asked a question, but what if they put a deposit down and they can't get the deposit back? It's awful hard to not be able to get a deposit back if the dealer broke the agreement.
The contract.
You know, and again, if you get it in writing, they can't break it without you being able to prove it. You'll be able to get your deposit back. All you have to do is show the credit card company what they did that broke the agreement. So that really is not hard at all, Carol. That's why we tell people try not to write personal checks. You know, try not a bank check especially. Don't you know, and don't do that.
And one thing I do stress on that question is I've been hearing here lately a lot of different dealers taking your money without you signing something. That is, you know, please do your research, because if you will make this big purchase, please at least sign a contract or something, because
you should get a purchase agreement before you handle the money.
Yeah, and what a lot of people are realizing is when they come running back to me is they say, well, can I get my deposit back? And no, we didn't sign nothing or anything like that, but they broke all these promises, their fees, because they tack on the closing run. And, you know, please just do your research.
Well, again, you're in control, so if the dealership won't give you a price in writing without you doing a deposit, you're at the wrong dealership. You need to leave. You need to find a dealership that respects you enough that they will give you a price before you give them a deposit. Somebody asked, I think it was Sandra, what is the name of this place? It is RV Wholesalers. We are in Lakeview, Ohio. Our website is rvwholesalers.com. There's about 26 other dealers right now trying to use our name in one way or the other. So make sure you go to the original, which is rvwholesalers.com.
Don asked if we're related to the RV Wholesalers in Texas, and go ahead and answer that.
Yeah, we are. That's a new store that we just opened. So there's two. That's it. There's, you know, I know there's people in Michigan, there's people in New York, there's people in Florida, people in Indiana. They're all over the country trying to use our name. And the reason is, and guys, don't take this as arrogance. I'm too old and fat to be arrogant. But we're famous for our service, and we're famous for our pricing, but even more famous for our service. So a lot of dealers want to use our name to make people believe they're getting our service and our price, but they're not giving them either, unfortunately. And we know it happens all the time because we get phone calls. You know, people are like, oh my gosh, I thought I bought from you. What do I do now? I didn't buy from you. We get a lot of those phone calls, believe me. And Valerie asked, difference between Dealer Prep and PDI? No difference. So they're the same thing. Different dealers do different things. So you want to ask. Our PDI is so good and so thorough that Forest River actually took our PDI when they started opening up their PDI facility. You know, so we do we've done a lot of firsts in the RV industry. We're proud of that. That's one thing we're proud of. Our PDI is so thorough that the factory uses it.
And when people ask, why can I get my camper at a certain date, it's just because of this. We want to make sure that we're not rushing our PDI process, because we want to make sure you're satisfied when you leave our lot.
No, that's exactly right.
A lot of people are asking about where in Texas. Dodge City is where the our little dealership is located.
It literally just opened. We got like 4 cargo trailers there, nothing else yet.
But the thing, and I think a lot of people are wondering, and I didn't want this to be a big commercial for RV Wholesalers, but since you guys keep asking, I go out to the lobby here, there's a big map of the whole United States and Canada, and everybody this year has been putting pins in there where we sold trailers to, and so that thing is just full of all the different states. I mean, every state has got pins in it. They've even sold them to Hawaii and gotten them delivered out there.
Yeah, people are saying, you sold to Hawaii? Every year we sell to Hawaii.
It's crazy, but and we'll talk about that when we talk about service and how they take care of and make that all work. But some people, what they're finding is that sometimes it'll make more sense to pick up a trailer here or have it even delivered to your front door in another state than it does to go to a local dealer. So that's something for you guys to explore and research. But
Christy asked a question. If you guys don't mind, let's use that to transition into the next topic. Christy asked, do you guys take trade-ins? We do, Christy. And please hear this very, very, very carefully, okay? We do take trade-ins. However, we really strongly suggest people try to sell them themselves. And the reason is then you put that money in your pocket. Not that we don't like money. We like money. Everybody likes money. Money, after all, is what enables me to camp and do the things I like to do. However, we don't need all the money. We're making money off you buying an RV from us. we don't need to make money off your used RV as well. What we wish customers would do is let us look it up for them, tell them what the unit's worth, right? Here's what the trade-in price is, but here's what you should be able to sell for on your own. A lot of times you can get even more than that, depending on where you live. If you do that, you put the money in your pocket. Now you lose a little bit of tax savings, but you gain so much more and profit on your unit. You're way better off selling yourself. But we have customers who say, I don't want to do it. I don't want the mess. I just want to trade in. That's fine. We'll take your trade. We are RV wholesalers. We do sell wholesale. So, we're not going to show a huge amount for your trade. This part I want you to hear very, very, very closely. And if you need it repeated or explained, please tell us, because this gets confusing for people. But what most dealers are doing is they have such a huge markup on their new RV that you walk in, and let's say your RV is truly worth about $20,000, and the trade-in value is $17,000. And you talk to this dealer and you say, I'd really like it $30,000. Done. You're like, wow. You call a dealership that doesn't have this huge markup and you say, hey, I'm getting $30,000 from him. You're only giving me $17,000. That's $13,000 more. Here's what you need to do when that dealer offers you $30,000. Can I sell it to you right now for that? And don't say another word. When they say no, I can only do that if you buy my new unit. You have a fictitious trade offer. If you come to RV wholesalers, for example, and there's a lot of other dealers that do it. Guys, someone asked, are all RV dealers bad or crooked? No, they're not. Are there crooked RV dealers? Yes, there are, obviously. Kind of like what we're seeing in our country right now, right? There's bad people in all groups, but there's great, wonderful people in all groups. Well, there's great RV dealers. There's terrible RV dealers. That's just the way it works. But if you come in here and say, I offered you $17,000 for your trade-in, and you say, will you buy it from me right now for that price? Yeah, absolutely. We'd love to have it. Oh. So we tell people, hey, my local dealer's offering $30,000. You're offering $17,000. What's up? Call him and ask him real quick if he'll pay you for that. Buy it from me right now for that price. When he says no, then he's playing games.
And I always tell customers, check your bottom dollar compared to my offer and his offer. Mine will always be lower.
Drastically lower, even with that swing of $13,000 in trade. It's a big game they play, guys, but you can solve it so easy with one question. Will you buy my trade for that right now if I don't buy your new unit? If they say no, leave the dealership. Go somewhere else. You can't trust them, okay? Again, if we give you a trade offer and you say, will you buy it for that right now, even if I don't buy a new one from you? Sure, we'd love to have it. If the dealer's response is no, you need to leave, okay? So do we take trades? Yes, we do. Is it best for you? No, it isn't. And again, the RV industry hates us for saying this in our webinars. They want us to shut up, stop telling people not to trade in. We need that money. No, we don't need that money. We want that money. It's best for you, the consumer, to sell it on your own.
Especially right now, the way the used market
the market's so hot right now. You can sell it so quick.
Put it on Facebook Marketplace, be gone next week.
RV Trader's another one. I mean, it'll fly out.
Yeah, Bill was asking, and that's probably our suggestion for you, Bill, would be just to list yours, that you're going to get the best dollar for it. So,
Tad wants to know, where are you located? How can I be sure it's you and not an imposter? We're in Lakeview, Ohio, and we're in Dodge City, Texas. And if you show up to Lakeview, Ohio, and you see a kind of short, fat, balding guy who looks a lot like me, you'll know for sure. If you see a really tall, ugly, fat guy, that's my brother. You'll know for sure you're in the right place. But no, Tad, we have the Lakeview, Ohio dealership. That's where we're coming from right now, and we have just opened the Dodge City. Just opened it.
The Lakeview's nothing fancy. I mean, it's not got granite.
No.
Floors and paved, parking lots. It's about keeping
parking lot. We try to keep the overhead down so we can keep costs down.
Hundreds of RVs, but
people are shocked. If you're here, normally we have about 600 to 700 RVs. Right now we're probably sitting at 100 because we've been decimated. But it's great to see 100 out here. Honestly, it lets you know more stuff's coming in. And we did one now. You guys don't even know this, but. Mike and I wanted to make the announcement today. We're actually adding 8 more bays onto our dealership.
Nice.
So that we can serve customers better. And Our goal is next March we have first and second shift service, so that we can provide even more service to customers. So there's a couple cool things coming from RV Wholesalers in the very near future. Hoping to break ground in about 2 weeks.
And with his question being making sure we're not imposters, please research us. We have an A+ with the BB&B. You know, we're here, and we see you thousands.
Yeah, thank you, Carol. Carol said to Tad, who asked, "How do you know if they're good or not?" Carol said that she bought it from me. He's the real thing. He's very honest, and she sends a lot of people my way. And Carol, if you don't mind, I'm going to copy that and show it to my wife. I can give all the help every 3 years that I can get. So keep the compliments coming, please. Somebody asked, do you have to have a commercial license to drive a Class A? No, you do not. If it's your own personal one, you do not. Somebody else asked, do you sell Class Bs? We sell small Class Cs, which are the same as Class Bs. That's probably confusing. Some of them have a Ford front end. Some have a Sprinter front end. Some have the Mercedes Sprinter front end. But they're all Class B size, but they're still technically on your title to say Class C. A true Class B, no, we do not. Because the ones I just mentioned are the ones that people normally want when they say Class B. So, you know, we do a lot of research to make sure we're selling what people want.
So do you, Christy was asking about service if you're in Florida and we get from Ohio. Can you talk about that? Because that's a really important question. Make sure that people understand.
Yeah, and that's a great question. You know, I'm going to tell you a very brief version, and you need to call me sometime and let me tell you the full scale, or go watch the video of it. There's a video on YouTube, on our YouTube page, our RV Wholesalers YouTube page. It talks about how we got started. But Mike and I were the first dealer to put an RV on the internet, and the only application at that time was eBay. So we sold first a couple used, and we put our first new unit on eBay, and a guy from Iowa bought it, came and picked it up. We couldn't believe it. we were.
This was about 18 years ago or something?
Yeah, we were blown away by it. And we only started selling RVs because of service. You know, people in our campground just loved the service we had, and started asking us to sell RVs, and that's why we did. So we literally were famous for our service back then, but it was, you know, very localized. It wasn't national. So long story short, we sell another one the next day to a guy in Texas, and we're telling our dad he wasn't in the business, and he's asking how it's going. We told him, you know, we sold 2 on the eBay. He won't believe this. 1 to Iowa, 1 to Texas. And he looked at me. I'll never forget this. In very straight face, he asked me, so you started selling RVs because people loved your service? Yeah. People buy from you because of your service. Right. How are you going to service the guy in Iowa, and how are you going to service the guy in Texas? And he turned around and walked out. It was so deflating, because he was right. That's why people bought from us. So we thought, well, we got to shut it down. And just being honest, we went in our homes that night, right? Talked to our wives, played with our kids, prayed about it. Came out the next morning, and I forget which one of us had the idea, probably me, because I'm a lot smarter. But we had the idea of, what if we find someone in the gentleman in Iowa's hometown? What if we find someone, a gentleman in Texas's hometown, fix their RVs? And that's what we did the very next day. Then every time since then a customer's bought, we have located someone for them that can take care of them. Now, you fast forward 18, 20 years later, we got over 2,500 people on our network. So we don't have to research every person now, right? We know we have the whole country covered, and a big part of Canada, if not all. You know, the northern parts, but no one's there but, you know, maybe a mountain goat. And 1 or 2 people. So, but literally, we have people all across the United States and Canada to take care of you. Florida is one of our more populated states. Of course, Texas, now we even have a location. But we'll get you fixed. We don't normally send you to dealers, because dealers aren't always happy that you bought from RV Wholesalers. So we send you to private independent service centers, and we find a lot of mobile people to use to make it more convenient.
Which is nice if you're at a campground and your air conditioner breaks. Well, it doesn't have to be an RV dealer in that town that comes out. It's a specialist in air conditioners that can take care of it. Yeah, that's good.
I was just in Florida, and it was like 117 degrees is what it felt like. And I think I lost 18 pounds of just water. But you can't camp there right now without air conditioning. You can't. So I say to my customers, okay, so you just traveled from Ohio to Florida. Your air conditioner's not working. You cannot camp. It's impossible. You don't have money for a hotel. You don't want a hotel. If you wanted a hotel, you wouldn't have bought a camper. You call your local dealer and say, hey, I'm in Florida. I have no air conditioning. What can I do? His response is, as soon as you get done camping, bring it in, I'll fix it. That doesn't help me in Florida.
Or if you go into the local dealer in Florida, what does he say?
Sorry.
You're not my customer.
He's got customers ahead. And see what we can do, and this is an actual story. Years ago, we sold to a gentleman from New Jersey. He drove down the East Coast, went to the Fort Wilderness campground at Disney World. He had water running in his air conditioner. It was pouring down rain, which I know shocks everyone, but it was every day in Florida in the summer. And his hot water heater didn't work, and they had an infant. He called us in a total panic, right? Wife's demanding that they get a hotel room. We can't have our 2 kids on the floor with water pouring in, no hot water. We located one of our people within about 5 minutes. Within 20 minutes, he was there. They were using the hot water heater wrong. No big deal. He showed them how to use it right. And he tightened the 4 bolts on the air conditioner. Came a little loose during travel. It was sealed up. 20 minutes, their entire trip saved. If we don't have people all over, they're in a hotel. And water pours in his camper until he gets it covered. That's why service is so important. So ask your dealer, if I'm not in your area, and most dealers don't have mobile service anymore, guys. It's too expensive. They dropped it. If I'm not in your area, how are you going to get me serviced? And if they don't have an answer for that, walk. You spend too much money to have a camping trip run. You work too much hard to have a camp. You work too hard to have a camping trip run. Make sure you find that great service out there. You deserve it. I mean, you bought a trailer. You need to be able to use it. You don't want to not be able to use it. So that was a long way for us to answer that question, but hopefully it did. You're going to see me checking things off because we don't want to miss anything. Though. Can we jump to the finance kickback?
Yeah, as you lead into that, James' question will be a fun one for you to answer because he says, how can you get them to lower their asking price? You're really good at this, David, right? So give them a couple of tips and then go into financing, how they
that's a great transition. And James, the first thing you do is, if you're buying an RV, priced out on our website for one, okay? Then you know what you should be paying. And you walk in armed with a good, fair price, okay? You're going to see, depending on where you are, I don't know where you live, I lost you, but for example, if you're in a Gulf Coast state and you're buying a toy hauler from us, you're probably saving $20,000. If you're in a Midwest state, you're buying a toy hauler, you're probably saving $10,000. West Coast, buy 2 of them, part 1 out.
Yeah.
But in all seriousness, you're saving minimum $5,000. Most people are saving closer to the $10,000 range, okay? So now you walk in and ask that dealer, what's the best price you can do for me? Oh, that's the price right there. Then you say this, that's interesting. What would you say if I told you there was a dealer that's selling this for $7,000 lower than you are? Oh, they're lying. They're not doing that. Show it to him if you want. I don't care. Show him what you should be paying. Now, they'll have a little bit of dealer freight on it, right? They got to haul it from the factory to. So figure $1 a mile, right? If you're 1,500 miles from the factory,
the factory is Elkhart, Indiana, so,
right. So if you want to figure $1 a mile. But here's the thing, though. Don't tell them you have a trade until you're done negotiating the price. Then tell them you have a trade. Shouldn't matter. Shouldn't matter. Doesn't matter here. If you negotiate the price and say, can I trade my unit in still? Sure. We're going to give you the same offer we would have gave you. Anyways, our offers don't change based on that. 90% of dealerships, though, they're going to demand to know if you have a trade before they give you a price. Here's the other thing, the thing that we're about to teach you, the finance kickback. Don't bring that up until you have your final price and your trade word. And if you're trading, I hope you don't trade. I still hope you sell it yourself, okay? But after you get the best price, after you, and, here's the thing, people say, well, you were 10,000 cheaper, but I got them down 4,000. Why pay $6,000 more for the same thing?
Yeah.
Then you got to pay tax on $6,000. You got to pay interest on $6,000. And then when you go to sell it, you got to find someone that'll pay you $6,000 more dollars. See what I'm saying? So it isn't $6,000 that you're paying. It's really closer to probably about $7,400 that you're paying. Why does that dealer deserve $7,400 more for the same thing? Ask him that. I ask dealers that all the time. We just bought 2 pickup trucks for the RV sales. I asked my local guy, who's my neighbor, by the way, so it makes barbecues more fun. Why are you $6,000, almost $6,300 more per truck than the dealership in Columbus, Ohio? Didn't have an answer. I had the answer. He's overcharging. And I gave him the answer. You're overcharging. Would you like to beat that price? How about I match it? No. He had the lower price. He deserves the business. Well, of course he did. So we bought the 2 trucks in Columbus, Ohio. Here's the thing, guys. You work too hard. Don't give people your money. You work too hard to settle. Don't settle. Make the dealership be honest. Make them be fair. Make them put things in writing. Then give your deposit. Okay, next thing, finance kickback. Go ahead.
I was just going to ask, like you mentioned that finance kickback. That's new. I had never heard that.
Oh, it's
Joe,
crazy.
I started working with you guys, but
yeah, this is the craziest thing. When we figured this out, it was like, wow. It's one of those things that make you go, is anything in my life real? You know what I mean?
Right.
What happened, guys, was we had a lot of customers that would come here to pick up their RVs. They had loans from their local bank or credit union, whatever, and the credit union or the small bank wouldn't give them a check, so they bring a letter, right? So they have this letter they hand to us, and it says it's Smith County Credit Union, and Tim and his wife are approved for a loan for $22,718, and as soon as we get the title with Smith County Credit Union as a lien holder, we'll send you a check. Here's the problem: our bank wouldn't let us take those. Our bank wanted the check. Of course, their bank wants the title first. So we were in a bad spot. So to try to help out our customers, we thought, let's start offering finance. So we did. We're talking, guys, 15 years ago. We get signed up with a couple banks. We do some loans, and all of a sudden we get a check. So we call the bank. Hey, you send us a check. We don't know what this is for. There's no customer's name, and the amount doesn't match any of our deals. No, that's your kickback. Actually, they call it your participation. Kickback's a bad term. They don't like when you use that term. That's your participation. What? Yeah, we pay you to bring us loans. Again, wow. We couldn't believe it, right? So long story short, we started giving it to you. Why? So more people would finance. So we'd have less hiccups when you show up, right? We know you're approved. We know we don't have to worry about you bringing that letter, right? We know you're showing up with a check. We know you're showing up. All you got to do is sign paperwork. You leave with your RV. There's no issues. So we give that participation or kickback to our customers when they finance with us. Okay, we call it a finance discount. What is so funny is the RV industry and the automobile industry have tried to make that like the most evil thing we do in the world. They tell customers, they say, "Well, I'm buying from RV Wholesalers." They make you finance with them. No. If you finance with us, you get the money from the bank. But see, those dealers don't want to let you know that exists.
Right.
The van I just bought for my wife, I did not trade hers in. I sold it. When I got my lowest price, I just gave you some hints. Then I said to the guy, okay, we got everything ironed out. Everything's done. How much of the bank kickback do I get? That was like an awkward 37 seconds. He was not going to admit there was a kickback, but he didn't know what to do. Finally, he's like, well, that, I don't know what you're talking about. So I explained it to him. I don't mind. And I said, of course you know what I'm talking about. Oh, well, there's some that do that, but that bank you're going through, they don't do that. So that's odd because My dealership does business with that bank, and they do it for us. So I know they do it for you. I knew roughly what the percent was. At any time, you should be able to get 2%, guys. Okay?
Yeah, so we're not talking a couple $100 here. You're talking, it could be thousands.
Yeah, it can be thousands of dollars. So long story short, after you have made your purchase, not major purchase, major deal, then ask, how much of the bank participation or kickback do I get? And push for 2%, okay? Again, don't let people make it nasty and they say, well, at RV Wholesalers, you have to finance. You don't have to finance. We just can't give the bank money because they're not giving us the money.
Right, and I know a lot of people come in saying, well, I'm using our credit union. Then I just look and say, why don't I pay you to finance with me?
Well, and here's a very fair question. That credit union is paying the dealer.
Yep.
Why don't they pay you? Local bank. People are very loyal to credit unions, local banks. I used to be until I learned about this. And I'd say to my local bank, my dad did business with them. My grandfather did business with them. I do business with them. My 2 sons are doing business with them. I want the kickback. Oh, we can't do that. Well, I guess there goes 4 generations of business. I mean, why would you pay a dealer but you won't pay me? You see what I'm saying, guys? So again, if you want to stick with your credit union, then you need to make sure they're gonna give you participation.
So you get that discount, and then how? Say you do want to pay it quickly and avoid interest. Like, what do you have to do?
So
you got to make 12 payments.
And do they all have to be the same size, or can you
So
front load? Yeah.
with recreational loans is they're simple interest.
Yeah.
So what a lot of cash buyers do is to take advantage of me paying them to finance with me. They will pay it all off in your first payment. Okay, guys, there's a game. I'm gonna kind of give you a little hint here. Pay it all off in the first payment, except for your remaining 11 months. For easy numbers' sake, let's say your payment's $200. Pay it all off except for $2,400 in your first payment. And on that $2,400, you're paying an interest of $150 for me, handing you potentially, $5,000.
Right. It's a no-brainer. I used to say it to people this way because the people don't trust dealers much. I don't. So I don't blame them. I don't trust them at all when I'm buying. But I always say to people this way: if I walked up to you on the street and said, "If you give me $100, I'll give you $1,000," would you do it? Sure. That's what we're offering here.
Yep.
Shook, I love the name, by the way, just asked, have you noticed gouging during this pandemic? Only 2 extremes. Only 2, and shame on the RV industry. Shame on the states for not going after those people. We've seen price gouging like we've never seen before. We saw some of it after 9/11. I've never seen it to this extent. Dealers have raised prices. It's shameful. It's when I read those things and see those things, that's when I'm embarrassed to be part of this industry. This is not the time to take it. There's never a time to take advantage of people. But when people are scared and people are wanting to protect their families, that's not the time to gouge on prices. Our prices don't change. We need.
Speaking of prices, a couple of guys, Stephen and so forth, were asking about how do you figure out prices, especially of used ones. So what is it, the NADA?
You can go to NADA.com. It's not completely accurate.
Right.
It's going to be a little bit high. And let me explain that. There's a book that the NADA puts out that all the dealers and the banks get. That's what the banks go by. Okay, that's what the dealers go by. But you can go to NADA.com. It's going to give you a price, but you're probably going to be 5% high, give or take. You can run the risk of a $15,000 unit of being $1,000 too high. So don't get set on that price, but it gives you a good idea. Now, could you sell yours based on that price? Sure, print that sheet, show it to the buyers. Yeah, that works great. I'm just saying for trade-ins, you're going to be a little bit high.
I'll give you Blake's number here on the screen. So Blake's at extension 1000 and his email. So if you have questions like that, he can look it up in the actual book so that you know what the bank's going to say, so forth. So
Dana asked, how will we know if a dealer's price gouging? Simple. Come to our website and get a price, Dana. You'll know real quick. When he's, 15, 20, $1,000 higher. They're price gouging, and that's what these guys are doing. Unfortunately, not all of them, guys. Not all of them. When we say that, we don't mean every single dealer. We for one have not raised our prices. The fact I got really good news yesterday. I met with 6 gentlemen from Forest River, one very high up, and on one line of fifth wheels, they're lowering their price $60. And I literally stood up and clapped and said, that's amazing. Thank
Integrity.
you. And I don't know if you can see the goosebumps on the fat arm, but it literally gave me goosebumps because so many people are gouging right now, and Forest River is lowering the price of one of their lines of fifth wheels. It's one line, but lowering it $60. Other lines, they're desperately trying to keep the prices down. Now, some of their parts suppliers are starting to price gouge, and they're having some issues with China, which is good because that's going to get them away from China because none of us need them to buy anything from China. So that's a positive for all of us. But they figure the most out of these 6 guys. It's not all Forest River, but the products they recommended, they thought the highest price increase would be about $400. That is awesome because we've seen $1,200, $800 before when sales are hot, and this is record-breaking territory for RV sales. So you'll know easily if dealers are price gouging, very honestly. Dana asks, why are Class B more expensive than Class C? Dana, if you can figure that out, let us know.
Yeah.
That's why we sell small Class Cs instead of Class Bs, because the pricing makes no sense to us. So I'm not going to sell them. I'm going to sell you a small Class C and save you a lot of money. And Christy just mentioned the China bomb tires. Oh.
What's that?
The RV industry has been famous the last decade for buying tires from China, and people call them China bomb tires because they're going to blow up.
Yep.
We've had people that their tires blew less than 50 miles from the dealership. So a lot of them are correcting that now, going to U.S.-made tires and better quality tires. Not all of them yet, but a lot of them are.
Yesterday, I was on the way back from Chicago, and there's a brand new Class C motorhome, beautiful. Right behind it was a car that looked like the firemen were still spraying it off. They towed an all-wheel drive vehicle behind it, not knowing that you can't do that.
Yeah.
And the whole car burned up. Brand new car too, I think. I don't know. It didn't look new at that point, but it was sad. So put that on your list to make sure you know if your car is actually towable behind one of the motorhomes. But someone was asking, like, how do you learn to drive these, especially these Class A's and travel trailers too? People are worried about backing it up. Actually, the fifth wheel is easier to back into position just because you have
it's more the trailer's embedded your truck.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So fifth wheel is nothing to be scared of. That's actually even easier than the travel trailers.
Yeah, and guys, we'll teach you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Literally, we'll go out with you and teach you how to back them up, how to park. We'll go through that whole thing, and even the Class A's, they're actually fun to drive.
Mm-hmm.
You
can see great.
There's so many cameras everywhere.
That's what I was going to say. I didn't realize you had to put on your turn signal. A camera comes on the whole left side of that vehicle, so you see everything more than you do.
You almost can't mess it up. It's kind of like my Suburban that's 2 years old. I've got more cameras on that thing than I think CBS has in their entire news department. You almost can't go wrong anymore.
Yeah, it's come a long way.
Yeah, it's quite impressive. Okay, we got one last big topic to hit, but I want to answer a couple more questions. Cynthia asked, can you add a washer and dryer hookup to an RV that doesn't have one if it has rim? Yeah, sure. Call plumber. That'd be your cheapest way, too. Call plumber.
It's just a PEX tubing, just like in a house, so they can tap right into it.
Tap into your plumbing, so that's
I see.
not a big deal at all.
Dana is looking for a small Class C. Please give me an email. I'd love to help you out and kind of shoot you some options, kind of fit you and your 2 pups.
Yeah, it's a great time to RV, guys. In all seriousness, and whether you're bothered by the coronavirus or not, RVing is just really safe. What I love about it is you're in control. You control your costs. You control again who comes in your RV. You control where your RV goes. It's just awesome. We're seeing so many people renting motorhomes right now. And they want to go to Florida, but they don't want to get on an airplane. They don't want to stay in a hotel, but they have family in Florida. They drive that RV down to Florida, and they control the whole thing.
I have something special your brother said I could share. But I'm going to wait to the very end, but those that hang with us while we talk about warranties and understand those. But my dad always taught me, like, when you're checking out at Walmart, just say no to that question about, do you want to pay 10 extra bucks for electronics warranty or whatever? How does that, I mean, what do you guys think about that when it comes to RVs? So.
Well, it's funny, you know, because I always did the same thing.
Yeah.
I always thought that extended warranties were a ripoff. Mm-hmm. And I wouldn't even consider them. And to me, I thought it was unmanly. You know what I mean?
Right.
So
Can't take
that. They're not taking advantage of me. And I'll never forget a gentleman walked in to sell us extended warranties that we could sell to our customers, and it really offended me. Because I thought, here's a crook coming in the house, you know. And I be honest, I was probably a little ruder than I was taught to be. My dad would have probably smacked me. But I thought, here's this guy wanting to take advantage of our customers. And he ended up asking me this question: what's it cost you to listen? Right? And I've heard that a couple other times in my life, and it costs nothing. So I sat down and I listened to him. You know what? He was selling an actual extended warranty at really the price blew me away. That actually covered things. Then he started explaining some things. He said, you're thinking that this is stated. I don't know what that means, right? And this is exclusionary. And I'm always honest. I said, look, maybe I'm ignorant, but I don't know what stated or exclusionary means. So he started explaining it to me. A stated extended warranty covers only what is listed. You don't want stated. Ever do you want stated? And this you need to write down. Stated, an extended warranty that is stated only covers what is listed on the extended warranty contract. You do not ever, under any circumstances, want a stated extended warranty. Exclusionary cover, they seem backwards in name, which has always messed me up for a decade. Exclusionary covers everything but the few things listed on the contract. Okay? You always want exclusionary. Here's a couple other tips. All insurance companies are rated. Look up their rating. If they have below an A rating, don't buy it. That means they're not taking care of people. Okay? The other thing is check out the price. It should be 10% or less. Okay? If it's above 10%, don't pay it. Negotiate it down. What's the name of the company? Protective is a great company. US Warranty is a good company. I can't think what the other one is. There's another one that starts with a P. I apologize, but they're awesome as well. But we need to find that name. But if you go with Protective, for example, you're going to be very, very well covered. I keep wanting to say Progressive, but I know it isn't.
No, but that's good for insurance.
Yeah.
What is the difference, though, between insurance? I mean,
it's drastically different. There's nothing. There's no similarities. You know.
A lot of what do I have to have this? If I have insurance, well, ask your insurance company if you're going to cover your inside seal. I always love to use that.
Or if your water heater goes bad, you know. The appliances are getting more and more expensive. You know, that's why we say up to 10% because you can have covered with an exclusionary extended warranty. They'll cover up to 100% of the cost of your unit. You're never going to have that. You're never going to need it, but it's there if you need it. But again, stated, don't bother, don't waste your money. If it's $50, you paid $50 too much. They're not going to sell it to you for $50, unfortunately. Again, the big game with extended warranties is sell stated at the exclusionary price. Mm. And you know, the thing is, most people don't care. Here's the only way I can explain this to you guys. We figured out a very long time ago, it's a whole lot more affordable for us to keep customers than to keep going out and buying new ones. Very expensive to market for a new resale. And in the state of California, it's going to cost you over $2,800 on average to get a new customer. I would rather just be honest with you, tell you the truth, charge a fair price, give you great service, and sell you an extended warranty that you can actually use. But again, how do you protect yourself? Because we can't sell them all. Okay, look for exclusionary extended warranties. Pay 10% or less than the cost of what the RV you're buying, okay? And ask for the name of the company and their insurance rating. All right, get that information, you'll be protected. If it's B and they say, oh, it's B, it's really good, it's not good. Walk, okay? People ask, how do I check out a dealer? Reviews are tough because just like, we get dealers that do reviews for us.
Or customers.
No, I mean dealers.
Oh, the
review
dealers.
us.
Oh,
Because
I see.
They're so tired of dealing with us, they go out and act like they're customers
okay.
and try to trash us online. But if you look at like our Google reviews, you're going to see we're 4.3. I've never seen a dealer higher in stars. If you look at BBB's, a good way to check people out. We're A+ rated. We're accredited. Accreditation is not an easy thing. If a dealer's not accredited with the BBB, walk. If the dealer's not an A+ rating, walk. Okay. There's things like that you can do. Call the local chamber of commerce, see how they talk about them. That's always interesting to me. Call a local chamber and chat with them about a business because they'll be honest. They really will. They'll be very honest. But just to recap real quick, get everything in writing up front so you don't get hit with a bunch of hidden fees. Make them tell you that's all of it. If they don't, they agree they're going to give you your deposit back. After you've got your best price, trade in your unit if you have to. Try to sell your trade on your own though. Then ask how much of the kickback you're getting from the bank or the bank participation. Okay. Again, only exclusionary extended warranties. When you're ordering right now or buying a unit on order, make sure that you get a rough offline date. Understand it can change some, guys. That doesn't mean the dealer lied to you. Part shortages, things like that. If they tell you 2 weeks, it takes 8 weeks. So if they say 2 weeks, they ought to be able to give you some proof of that. And make sure they can service you. What happens if I'm not in your area and my air conditioner goes out? Like I talked about in Florida, that's important. Know how they're going to take care of it. And again, go to NADA.com if you want to get a price for your use. Just remember, it could be a little bit high, okay? Any other questions we missed, Tim? Or are we pretty good?
One thing I was wondering though, I've heard this thing about a warranty forever, like some RVs come with this lifelong warranty or something. Can you just explain what that is?
I can't stress this enough. If you hear lifetime warranty, it's a lifetime of payments.
Yeah.
And that's even before they put their hands on it.
That's another thing that makes me ashamed to be in this industry. That's there's 3 or 4 of them now. That's the biggest crowd. And
I remember when I was at the dealer show and the company that was selling one of these services said to me as one of the dealers, you're going to love it because every year you're going to get about $900 in service items that these people are going to have to pay for when they come in because we require them to get an inspection. Is that how it works?
Yep.
Every year,
and
that you have to pay for.
And if you miss that inspection, that's voided. You don't have that no more.
No, but the funny thing is, the thing's such a sham because okay, I come in and pay you $700 to inspect my trailer. You're repairing all the little things, and you're getting paid $700 to do it. Mm-hmm. But they say I have a lifetime warranty. I'm paying $700 a year for the dumb thing. Mm-hmm. That's not lifetime. That's me paying $700 a year for the dumb thing.
What's amazing is they'll offer you a lifetime warranty, but then turn around and they'll sell you an exclusionary, but an extended warranty. Like, why would you need an extended warranty?
That's why I keep asking people, if you have a lifetime warranty, why is the dealer selling an extended warranty?
Yeah. That
doesn't make any sense, guys. Think about it. If I have a lifetime warranty on the thing, I don't need an extended warranty. So, but man, they use it and they're good. They're slick. The guys that are selling it, and I tell people all the time, that's the number one red flag for me. It really is. People say, well, why don't you do it? For that reason. It's very dishonest.
Thank you for sticking with us the whole hour. Mike, the other owner, his brother, said it was okay if I told everybody that types into our little chat there that's planning to buy this month that you'd be interested in getting $500 miles worth of free delivery. So if you're in Ohio, you get free delivery anyways, but if you're outside of Ohio, and this will help you be able to get that delivered to your door, just put in your name, just say, I'm interested in delivery discount, and we'll I'll give all those that information to Blake, and he'll follow up with you and see what you really need. If it's something we can help you with, be great. And
we would appreciate it. We really would. I just saw a question real quick, Tim. Somebody asked, is there a better Class C than Thor? There's some great Thor Class Cs, honestly. There's some great Forest River Class Cs. Forester builds an awesome product. There's a good Gulfstream product. But look at what we have on our website, because if we sell it, you're going to be taken care of. A couple of years ago, we dropped the #1 fifth wheel in the world. Everybody was like, what are you doing? No one drops that. It's hard to get. They weren't taking care of customers. Couldn't get parts from them. They weren't paying warranty bills. We walked away. The industry's still dumbfounded. Why would you walk away from it? Because I can't take care of my customers with them backing me. And we're not putting our customers through that. The relationship's too important. So if it's on our website, we know that you're going to get taken care of. We know that we can help you out. So check out what we carry, and those are good ones for you to look at.
Had a few. We have an RV show coming up next Wednesday at 1 p.m. Eastern time. That's pretty fun. We go through about 35 RVs. We have some giveaways. We have some. We even have our own Trailer Swift band that's going to be joining us to make it entertaining. So we have a whole day of walkthroughs, about 10 minutes in each trailer, and we answer a lot of questions, and we'll be able to show you inside a lot of trailers, and it's a good time. So next Wednesday. Yeah,
make sure you hit that. It's a lot of fun. And Anita, we'll make this the last question. What is your review of Jacob? We don't have
it. Say no more.
Used to be amazing, Anita. Used to be, if not the best, one of the best. It got purchased for way too much money, and the company that purchased it is still trying to make their money back. And the way they do that is they cut warranty and they cut materials, craftsmanship. So again, there's a reason that we do not have it. Guys, thank you for all your time.
Yes, thank you.
You just spent an hour with us looking at our ugly faces. We do appreciate it. We value you very much. We value your time. And we're here to help you. If you have any more questions, feel free to call in or get a hold of Blake, send him an email. You can send me an email. It's D as in David and then Durnell, Durnell, at rvwholesalers.com. I'll answer that. If you're ever in the area, stop by. We'd love to meet you. We'll probably have our Buckeyes mask on.
Nice.
Since we're into our mask mandate.
We still sell to Michigan?
Yeah, well, we will, but there's a fee.
Okay.
Just joking, just joking. We love our neighbors up north, just not during 1 week of the year.
Yeah.
Then it's Hate Fest.
Thank
you guys very much.
Yeah, I'll keep the chat open for a few minutes, and virtualrvshow.com is where you get free tickets for that event coming up, virtualrvshow.com, and we'll keep the chat open. But thank you guys, and we'll talk to you soon. Take care.
Thank you.